The following is a special presentation of Big Polly's World of Sports Sims, alternating the reality of sports and entertainment since 2020. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of the HTBL. We have now fast forwarded to the first Saturday of this season. And in just a moment, we're going to have the all-time greats of Boston travel to New York to take on the all-time greats of New York. Boston will be a combination of Boston Braves and not New York Yankees, Boston Braves and Red Sox. The New York team will be a combination of the New York Yankees, New York Mets, New York Giants, and Brooklyn Dodgers. There, now I got it straight. And we'll have the game for you right after this commercial announcement. If you like the video you're watching, feel free to use the Amazon link provided. I'll put it in the description down below. And welcome to the brand new Yankee Stadium, not too far from the old Yankee Stadium 3. This is actually going to be a day game, ladies and gentlemen. The default photo for this new Yankee Stadium was taken at night, and it's going to be 65 degrees and a wind coming in from right center field at 4 miles per hour.
Play ball!
And let me just do one thing real quick. I have to set up the lineups manually because if you set the game to 100-man rosters, which is what we use, I'll play as New York, the computer will play as Boston, Red Sox and Yankees, even though it's a combination of Boston teams and New York teams. The computer doesn't know how to handle very large rosters, so I set everything up manually. And it takes me about 1 or 2 minutes for each of the games that I do, 14 games a day. So this is April 2nd on the timeline. Boston and New York each coming in 2-1. Quinn on the mound for New York will give you the lineup and the defensive setup for New York. First, the lineup for Boston. Herman Long is your shortstop. He bats leadoff. Collins at third, bats second. The splendid splinter, Ted Williams, will bat in the number 3 position. Vaughn, first base, bats fourth. Dewey Evans in right, batting fifth. Fred Lynn is your center fielder, batting sixth. Bobby Doerr is the second baseman, hitting seventh. Veritek catching. He bats eighth. Whitney is your pitcher, batting ninth. And in the HTBL, the pitcher hits, which is ironic because the National League in 2022, if they ever get started playing with a lockout, they will use the universal DH like they did in the the pandemic-shortened 2020 season. Defensively for New York, Roof, a 5 and an 8. That means his range is a 5, and his arm is an 8. He is in left. Aaron Judge is the center fielder, better known for playing right, but he could play center, a 5 and a 9. Ross Youngs, who's a New York Giant, an 8 and a 10, a very solid arm. He is in right. Speaking of right, David Wright, the Met, is at third base. Derek Jeter, Mr. November, a 6 shortstop. Tony Lazzeri, push him up, is a 5 second baseman. Gil Hodges will be the first baseman who managed the 69 Mets to the World Championship. Yogi Berra, a 9 and a 7 behind the plate. Quinn is a 6. And this is his first start. His whip is 1.227. Opponents bat 258 off of him usually. And off we go. Herman Long is the leadoff man for Boston. So we have a 100-man roster, so we got a very stacked clubhouse along with everybody in the dugout for each team. And kind of like I do with the HTFL, anybody could come in at any time, but once you have been used, you're done for the day, as per baseball rules. So Quinn will pitch to Long, and that's a K, number 1.
Jimmy Collins.
The PA announcer will introduce everybody their first time up, And that brings up Jimmy Collins, 309. So far in the season, he has hit 308. So that's kind of accurate. Hits lefties a little better. And by the way, Long now falls to 167, so he was a 200 hitter before this. This is the fourth game for each team. Grounded to third, Wright quickly over to Hodges, but he fumbles it.
Left fielder, Ted Williams.
And Collins will move to second on the error. And Ted Williams now coming up, but this might be good for New York because they can pitch around him with an open base. And they do so, a walk.
First baseman, Mo Vaughn.
Which will set up the double play here for Mo Vaughn. Here's the pitch to him. Grounder. And that's going to be a base hit, and
Right
everybody's
fielder,
going to hold
Wright,
after
Evans.
advancing one base. So base is full of Bostons. Collins at third. Williams at second. Vaughn at first, and here's Dwight Evans, a 292 hitter. He's only hit 1 for 6 so far on the year. But he has an RBI, and if he plays his cards right, he might get a few more. Quinn dealing. And that's
Center
K number
fielder,
2 for
Fred
Quinn.
Lynn.
And Freddie Lynn, star of that 1975 Boston season, where they lost in 7 games in one of the great World Series of all time to the Cincinnati Reds, is up to the plate. Gwynn so far in the year. Lynn is 0 for 3, not Gwynn. That's the guy who plays for San Diego. The pitch. And Quinn with 3 strikeouts.
Jim.
But he loaded the bases.
Leading off for New York, shortstop, Derek Jeter.
Jim Whitney is going to be your pitcher for Boston. We'll get to him in a moment after I set the New York offense and the Boston defense. Jeter at shortstop. He leads off. Wright is at third base. He is your second hitter. Roof at left bats third. Hodges is your cleanup hitter. He plays first. Lazzeri, second baseman, batting fifth. Young's in right, bats sixth. Aaron Judge is your center fielder, batting seventh. Berra all the way down at 8. He is your catcher. Quinn, the pitcher, bats ninth. And Quinn had to use up 32 of his expected 135 pitches in that first inning. So he had a tough inning. Defensively for Boston, it's Williams, a 4. And let's check his arm. Also a 4. He can also pitch, although he pitched, I think, maybe once or twice in his career. He is your left fielder. Lynn, a 9 and a 6 in center. He can also play right. Evans could play first. He's an 8 and a 9 in right. Jimmy Collins, an 8 at third. Long is a 7 at short. Can also play second and left field. Bobby Doerr is a 7 at second base. Vaughn is a 5 at first. Veritek, a 7 and a 4 behind the dish. And Whitney is your pitcher. His hold is a 5. Can go 135 pitches. He is not. This is his first start of the year, being that this is the 4th game. And his whip is 1.095. Very strong arm, 279 in the third innings pitched is his expected inning output for the year, and opponents hit 242 off of him, so he's a little hittable. But so is Quinn for New York. Jeter leading off, Hall of Famer, 167 on the year so far. He is 2 for 12. And that's ball 4. Jeter is
Third
aboard.
baseman, David Wright.
I let the computer control the base running and make the stealing decision, so I could just focus on what's at the plate. David Wright, 1 for 13. He is off to a slow start so far this season 1.1 of the HTBL. 1 walk for Whitney. And that's a K.
Left fielder, Babe Ruth.
So there's 1 gone. Babe Ruth up, the Sultan of SWAT. 5 for 12 so far on the year. 2 homers, 3 RBIs already. And has scored 4 runs, although the sample size is not all that big as of yet. Throw to first, and they get Jeter. Napping at first base. So Roof is now batting with the bases empty and 2 out. And that's ball 4. Roof
First baseman, Gil Hodges.
knows how to get on base with the base on balls, as the pitchers will be very cautious around him. And Roof is actually not a bad base stealer, 55% here, although I'm going to plan on holding him, but the computer may have other ideas. Hodges is 1 for 12 so far this year, and he hits it well into left center. Williams going back, making the play at the warning track, and the side retired for New York. And Bobby Doerr now up in the second inning. For the Bostons, Doerr so far on the year is 2 out of 7, a 946 OPS, but it's early yet. And this is skied to center. Judge coming in quickly, makes the put out, one gone. Jason Varitek, 1 for 7 this year. 1 out, top of the second, no score if you've just queued up to this point in the video. Grounder to second. Lazzeri over to Hodges, and that's out number 2.
Jim Whitney.
Now in the HTBL, the pitchers hit, no DH, although I think I did use a DH in the aborted first season of the HTBL. So we're calling this season 1.1 because we never finished that year. Whitney has not had an at-bat this year because this is his first start. This is skied to center and hit very well. Judge making the play at the warning track. So Whitney, no slouch at the plate. He was hitting 240 something, or that's his expected batting average. Inning and a half gone by, no score. This is actually a day game. 66 degrees now, and the wind is now up to 9 miles per hour. So in Action PC baseball, the weather is dynamic, kind of like the golf game. Lazzeri, so far on the young season, he is 2 for 10 with a triple and 1 run scored. And this is skied to right center. Evans making the play near the warning track. 1 gone.
Ross Youngs.
And Ross Youngs is your new hitter with 1 out in the bottom of the second. So far on the year, Ross is 3 for 11, 1 homer, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. The pitch to him. And this is right to Jimmy Collins for the second out.
Aaron Judge.
And Aaron Judge is your new hitter. He is 2 for 10 on the day, on the season so far. Each team has only played 3 games. So New York took 2 out of 3 over Philadelphia, and Boston took 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh to start the season. The only teams that swept their series were Houston over St. Louis, Colorado over Los Angeles, and I got a cough for a moment. I apologize. So Judge 2 for 10. The pitch to him is ball 4.
Catcher Yogi Berra.
Judge is actually a pretty good base runner himself, 65% here. Although I don't remember the Yankees using him all that much. Yogi Berra, 273 on the year, 3 for 11. By the way, we use the top WAR player of 2021 on all of the existing franchises, and for instance for New York they have the top WAR Yankee and the top WAR from the Mets, Yankees and Mets, on their roster along with the 98 other greats. So runner at first with 2 out. Here's the pitch. Skied to right. Evans, easy play for him, side retired, and we have played 2. No score. Herman Long leading off in the third, just as he did in the first. He is 0 for 1. 1 for 6 on the season. Quinn now up to 39 pitches, so he had a much easier go of it in inning number 2 than he did inning number 1. Whitney is up to 31. Each can go 135 pitches, so they could easily pitch a complete game. We used the cross-era historical averages. Quinn to Long, and that's K number 4 for Quinn, who only is projected to have 87 Ks, but Boston is chasing some of these pitches of his. So 4 Ks for Quinn. We go to Jimmy Collins. On the day, he's 0 for 1. On the season, he's 4 for 14. To Jeter, second out. They shift a little over to the right side for Ted Williams. Williams 1 for 11 now. He walked in his first at-bat. First plate appearance. That's a line drive right to Judge, but it falls in front of him for a single, and Williams is aboard. and that'll increase his average. Mo Vaughn, power hitter, is 3 out of 14, 2 RBIs. The pitch to him. And this is a slow ground ball right to Hodges. He gets the out.
Pitcher, Jack, Quinn.
Side retired. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. Yes, I'm going to let my pitcher hit, and I'll get a little warning message here. Quinn, of course, he's back, an old school pitcher, back from the dead ball era. He hits 194. And he looks at strike 3 there for the second K for Whitney. He also has 3 walks so far in the game. Jeter leading off again for the Yankees here in the third. Walked in the first, and he's still 2 for 12. The pitch to Jeter. Skied to center, Lynn coming in. You might hear Ella playing with her balls. Each week I get Ella some new toys to play with. So when I do this, she is not anxious for me to get done. David Wright back up now, 1 for 12 and 0 for 1 today. This is long over to Vaughn, 6-3, and we have had a very quiet first 3 innings. Your score after 3, no score. New York yet to get a hit. Hint, hint. So Quinn working his 4th inning. He has 55 pitches. Dwight Evans up 1 for 7 now after an 0 for 1 start today. This is skied to center. Hit well and gone. Dwight Evans touching the ball. Homer number 1 for him. And it's 1-0 in favor of the Bostons. That ball just kept going and going, and Judge quickly gave up on it, but the way the game is set up, I couldn't really see how well it was hit to center. A little depth perception issue. 1-0 in favor of Boston as Freddie Lynn stepping up to the plate. 0 for 4 on the season, 0 for 1 today. This is hit well to right. Youngs will watch this one go. A home run for Freddie Lynn. Back-to-back jacks for Boston, and it's 2-0. Bobby Doerr up. He's now 2 for 8 after an 0 for 1 start today. And this is skied well, but Roof's going to catch that, and that's your first out for the Yankees. Inning number 4. Back-to-back homers by Evans and Lynn, and Boston now up 2-0. Veritek 0 for 1. And this is going to be a base hit just to the left of center field. First hit of the day for Veritek. Now, Whitney is up. He is a pretty good bunter, so I'm going to bring my corners in. And he hits 244. He hits righties 250, which is what Quinn is. So let's see. And they do not bunt, and it's hit well. Judge with the play at the warning track. So Whitney, not a bad hitter, and that's the second out. A lot of the old school dead ball era pitchers were not that bad hitters. Of course, one of the best pitching hitters of all time was Wes Ferrell, I would think. And of course, now you don't need good hitting pitchers because both leagues will be using the DH in 2022 and beyond. I think that'll wind up being a permanent thing. Long is 0 for 2, his 3rd plate appearance. Jeter goes to Hodges, tries to get the out there, and he does. But damage done by the Red Sox. 2 runs to go up 2-0. And now New York will try to get their first hit. Babe Ruth looking at Jim Whitney here. The pitch to Ruth. This is skied to right field. Evans will watch that go. A home run for the Bambino. And it's 2-1. Homer number 3 for the Babe. And it's 2-1. Sorry, folks. Ella very boisterously playing. We got a soccer star in the making here, folks. Hodges, 1 for 13. He is 0 for 1 today. Grounder the 3rd. Collins to Vaughn, 5-3 on the putout, and there's 1 gone. I think we'll put tomorrow they're playing the Kiddie Bowl, right? On one of these channels, there's a Kiddie Bowl and a Puppy Bowl. I think we're going to enter Ella into next year's game. And that's long over to Vaughn. Made a super play to get the out. Dived toward the second base side, scooped it up through to get the put out. Ross Youngs is 3 for 12, a 250 hitter. Today he is 0 for 1. And this is hit a little duck snort to left field, and Young's aboard with a single. So the inning's still alive, and how many times in baseball do you see 2-out rallies? Might be seeing one here as Aaron Judge is up. He walked in his first plate appearance. And this is hit well to left. Williams coming in hard, making the play. So New York answers Boston's 2 with one of their own, and we go to the fifth with the score 2-1. Quinn back out. He's at 73 pitches. He can go 135. And here is Jimmy Collins, who is 0 for 2, which means Teddy Ballgame will be up next. Wright to Hodges, 5-3 on the ground out. And there is one out. Ted Williams, 1 for 1. They go now up to 2 for 12 on the season. Just a couple of singles for him so far this year. Lazzeri with a nice play over to Hodges, and there's 2 outs. Mo Vaughn, 3 for 15, 1 for 2 today. And that's a K, 5th K for Quinn. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. It is 2-1. Now, Whitney does not have 5 Ks. He has 2. But they leave that graphic up. Berra, 0 for 1. Grounded to first. Can Vaughn get to the bag unassisted? He can. And that's the first out of the Yankee 5th. Quinn, 0 for 1. We'll leave him in. My pitcher is about to hit. Yes, I know. I'm gonna have him hit. Grounded along over to Vaughn. You've got to keep in mind Long's fielding average. Of course, Long played in an era where the fielding was not great and the gloves were not great. The equipment was kind of terrible. So his fielding average is 887. So you always got a chance on a ground ball if you hit it to Long. Jeter 0 for 1 as the Yankees bat for the 3rd time in the 5th. Base hit left center field. Jeter tries to leg a double throw, safe, and that's double number 2 for Mr. November. David Wright will now see an at-bat here in the 5th, or a plate appearance, because we don't know whether or not he's going to be walked or not. 0 for 2, and he's 1 for 13, so he started out slumping to start the year. That's up the middle, a base hit. Will they bring Jeter around? They do, and we have a tie game. RBI single for David Wright, and we are tied at 2 apiece. The Bambino, 1 for 1, and he had a big one, a homer, his 3rd of the year already in just 4 games. And he'll look at a pitch from Whitney, but first, it was another pickoff. Another pickoff for Whitney. He picked off Derek Jeter earlier in the game, and now he has gotten David Wright napping off of first base. So with that, Roof will come up in the 6th. And Boston now at bat in the 6th inning. We are dead even at 2-2. 5 men left on base for Boston, 3 for New York. We're recording this February 12th, 2020, the day before the Super Bowl. So if you're watching this before the big game convenes at 6:30 Eastern Time on Sunday the 13th, feels so weird for the Super Bowl to be played this late. Usually, I was okay with it being the first week of February, but now it's the day before Valentine's Day, and you got the Daytona 500 next week. Evans, 1 for 2. Skied to right. Young's going back. And it's a foul ball. That flirted with the foul pole a little bit. Evans, 2 for 8 on the season, 1 for 2 today. And that's a grounder base hit to Roof. And a single for Evans, 2 for 3 and a homer. After that, Lynn had a homer earlier. He's 1 for 2. And Quinn will deal. Skied to Judge for out number 1. Bobby Doerr is 0 for 2 and 2 for 9 on the season. That's up the middle, a base hit. We'll see how far Evans. No, he will hold at second base. You got Veritek up. I'm going to pitch around him. Grounder, Lazzeri, Jeter. They get the out at second base. 2 outs now. My thinking was if he had walked, I could bring the infield, the corners in, and set up for Whitney to bunt. Whitney is 0 for 2 in this game and on the season, because this is his first start. Skied to right center field. Judge, with a good play, had to cover a lot of ground there. Side retired for Boston in the 6th. Go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-2. 2-7-0 for Boston, 2-4-1 for New York. Babe Ruth is 1 for 1 with a homer. And that's K number 3 for Jim Whitney. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 homer given up, 3 walks, 3 Ks. He is at 80 pitches now of his 135 expected count. Gil Hodges of the Brooklyn Dodgers is 0 for 2. And this is hit well to center. Lynn makes the play, though. Second out of the inning. And we'll go to Tony Lazzeri, who is 0 for 2 today. Whitney deals. And this is hit well to center, but Lynn should get to that, and he does. A great play by Freddie Lynn. And how often do we see that in 1975? Rookie of the Year. I think he also won MVP that season. So after 6, it's 2-2. As I set something up for the 7th-inning stretch. Herman Long 0 for 3. Boston batting for the 4th time. Oh, right back to Quinn, and he makes a great play. Good instincts for Quinn. He is now up to 105 pitches, so we'll watch and see when the New York manager will want to pull him. Collins 0 for 3. Skied to center, and Judge should get to that. He does. That brings up Teddy Ballgame, who is 1 for 2 today. The pitch. And right to Lazzeri. Stretch time here at Yankee Stadium. Two to 2 is your score as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Could we see extra innings today? Young's up. He is 1 for 2. Whitney still in at 82 pitches. Quinn is now up to $1.09. K for Whitney. That is number 4 on the day for him. Aaron Judge now 2 for 11 on the season. He's 0 for 1 today. This is hit well to left, but Williams gets to it in front of the warning track for out number 2. Yogi Berra 0 for 2. Grounder to Vaughn. He takes it to the bag unassisted. So a very quiet bottom of the 7th for New York. We go to the 8th. It's a 2-2 tie. Quinn is strong at 109 pitches. So we'll leave him in this inning unless he gets into major trouble. Mo Vaughn, 1 for 3. This is a grounder, and Quinn goes to the bag. Hodges throws to him, 1 out. Dwight Evans is 2 out of 3, and that ain't bad. He had a homer earlier. Skied, an infield pop-up, and it's Jeter grabbing that for the 2nd out. Freddie Lynn, 1 for 3. He had a homer earlier, too. So that was Boston's only scoring in the 2nd. They had back-to-back homers. Quinn dealing. Skied well to center, but Judge comes in and goes a little to his left for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 2-2. And as you can see, the pitcher is up. And I am going to bring in, with Whitney being a right-handed hitter, Frankie Frisch to pinch hit.
Pinch hitting for New York, Frankie Frisch.
And depending who gets the last out, I might do a double switch. Frisch is a 9 bunter, and the corners are not playing in. Let's try it. Foul.
Ball.
Okay. Frisch is a second baseman, if I remember correctly. And this is a slow grounder, long, charging hard, throws to Vaughn, out. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. Here is Jeter, 1 for 2. And this is fielded by Whitney, throws over to Vaughn for the second out. Probably not going to do a double switch. I'll probably just bring in another pitcher. Wright stepping up, 1 for 3. Might be Rivera I might bring in. Base hit to center field, and that will extend the inning for guess who? Babe Ruth, who is now 6 for 14 and 1 for 2 and a homer today. See if he can get hold of something good here. And it's an intentional walk, which moves Wright to second base. Interesting decision there for the Red Sox. I'm going to bring in another pinch hitter. Hodge hits righties 288, and I got Lou Gehrig on the bench, who hits righties 375. I also got Bill Terry. Let's bring in Terry.
Pinch hitting for New York, Bill Terry.
This is his first at bat of the season, and he, of course, was one of the very few players in Major League Baseball to hit 400. The last being, of course, Ted Williams in 1941. George Brett flirted with it in 1980. I think he hit 390 of 391 that year. So Terry can hit righties 400. And this is skied to right field, and Evans with the putout. So a little bit of station keeping to do here. With the score 2-2 going to the 9th. We will leave Terry in the game, and he will play first base. He is a 9 at that position. And we go to Mariano Rivera, the Sandman. And he will pitch and bat 9th.
Pitching for New York, Mariano Rivera.
And I have a lot of options after Rivera if this game goes long. With 100 players on each roster, you could go 100 innings and probably not use everybody. Doer is 1 for 3. Rivera has pitched in looks like he has pitched an inning, gave up 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 save. His historical player average would be 936 whip and a 201 opposing batting average. So far on the season, it is an even 1, and opponents are hitting 250 off of him.
Pinch hitting for Boston, Sam Wise.
And the wheels turn. Weiss will come in. Sam Wise, he'll be the pinch hitter. He hits righties 251. We'll see what happens here. Curious decision. Base hit to left field. So Wise is aboard. He is a speedy base runner. And Veritek is your new hitter, unless they go to a pinch hitter here. Ball 4. So New York in a little bit of trouble, but if you want to have a pitcher in this situation, you would want it to be Mariano Rivera. Will Jim Whitney continue in the game? He's hitting 244, or that should be his historical average. So far on the day, he's 0 for 3.
Pinch hitting for Boston, Earl Torgeson.
Earl Torgeson coming in, the spectacled one. 1 at-bat so far this year. He's 0 for 1. He hits righties 276. And a caught stealing at third base as Wise tried to be wise and go to third base, but not to be. And you'd never want to make the first out at trying to steal third. That's like a cardinal sin. So Torgerson, his historical average should be 271, 14 homers, 65 RBIs, an OPS of 812. And this is grounded to Rivera, who made a nice play throwing over to Terry. And Veritek moves to second, and we have a pinch runner.
Kelly is the new runner at second.
King Kelly. If you've ever heard the phrase "slide Kelly slide," that was King Kelly, and he can catch, and he could come in the game as a catcher. Will pitch around long with the first base open. Grounder to third. Right. A poor play, and Long is aboard. They do not rule that an error. They say Long had the speed to beat it out. So an interesting situation here. You got 2 outs, top of the ninth, a 2-2 tie. And you got Jimmy Collins up, who is so far wearing the collar at 0 for 4. Rivera is already at 20 pitches, so we probably won't use him in the 10th should we get that far. And this is going to be Lazzeri. They need to get the out. They do. And Mike Ryba is entering the game for Boston. Let's reset
Pitching
the
for
defense.
Boston, Mike Ryba.
Weiss comes in. He will play second base. Kelly is your new catcher, and I think everything else remains the same. Lazzeri 0 for 3 on today, and he'll look at this pitch from Ryba, and that's a base hit up the middle, and we'll leave Lazzeri in. And we are going to sacrifice bunt with Youngs. Throw over to first. Lazzeri is back in time, which just makes him even more dangerous on the base paths. And there's the bunt. Collins charging in. And he made the out. And Lazzeri is at second base, giving New York 2 cracks at a win here. With Judge 0 for 2 on the day, playing center. Now, he hits righties 283. I'm sure I got more center fielders. I can bring Combs in. Combs hits righties 350, and we'll go with Lou Gehrig here.
Pinch hitting for New York, Lou Gehrig.
The Iron Horse, who had the consecutive games record before Cal Ripken Jr. broke it on September 6, 1995. How do I remember the day? It was my 24th birthday. Gehrig, no at-bats so far on the year. And his historical card has 369 on it and an OPS of 1.133. But New York, with so many good players, you can't get everybody a lot of time. So Ryba will look at Gehrig. Throw to third. Oh, and out. My computer base coach sent the runner to third. He was out. That was Lazzeri. So now Gehrig is up with the bases empty. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, and we're looking at extra innings square in the face. Ryba deals. Grounder to first, and we're going extras, folks, as Vaughn makes the unassisted play at third. So we go to the 10th, and your score is tied 2-2. And who do we bring in at center field? Well, I got several 8s I could go to. Duke Snider, Johnny Frederick, Tommy Agee, the hero of the 69 series, Joe DiMaggio, and Bobby Mercer. Snider has an 8 and an 8 arm. I'm also looking at DiMaggio, an 8 and a 7 arm. And the others have 8-7, 8-4. I'm going to put in the Duke Snider. And if my mom was with it, she would be very happy that I put Duke Snider in the game, because that was her childhood hero, was Duke Snider. So there. Rivera is tiring, so we're going to need a new pitcher. And let's see, the Boston's lefty, so we'll see who can pitch as a lefty, has a good percentage as a lefty. We'll go with Bobby Ojeda and keep him in the game for a while. Ojeda has not seen any action so far in this young season. And his whip is 1278, and opponents should hit 245 off of him. Teddy Williams leading off to start the 10th. 1 for 3 so far today. To second base, Lazzeri to Terry, 1 out. Terry is playing first. Snyder is your new catcher, and I think everybody else is staying the same. Berra is your catcher, and the third pitcher of the game for New York is Ojeda. Vaughn, 1 for 4. Hit to right, and that is gone. Line drive homer for Mo Vaughn, which I believe is his first on the year, and it's 3-2. Evans is 2 for 4 on the season, 2 for 4 in the game, and 3 for 10 on the season. He had a homer earlier. Jeter to Terry, second out. And we'll leave Ojeda in for Lynn, lefty-lefty. Lazzeri, Terry, side retired. But a little too late for New York as Boston gets that homer by Mo Vaughn. And your score right now, 3-2. New York needs 1 to tie, 2 to win. And Berra is up 0 for 3. Then I think we have the pitcher spot, and we'll have to bring in another pinch hitter. The pitch.
Strike 3.
K for Ryba, number 1 for him.
Ojeda.
No, I'm not leaving Ojeda in the game. And we'll see, as Uncle Ron Juckett would say, who can hit a righty? And I'm down to Earl Combs. Well, I'm not down to Earl Combs. You see him there. We're going to bring him. I was trying to right-click and I left-clicked
for
it.
New York, Earl Combs.
Combs has not seen any action so far this season. 344 is his card. 40 doubles and 17 triples. 6 homers. His OPS is 910. The pitch to him. That's a grounder to first. Vaughn steps on it. And the last chance to keep the game alive for New York is Derek Jeter, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Base hit to left. He'll go for 2. He gets in there. Jeter is an 8-base runner. I'm going to leave him in. And let's see. Wright is a 309 against righties. I'm going to go with Zach Wheat.
Pinch hitting for New York, Zach Wheat.
He's a 319 carded hitter, 6 homers, 86 RBIs, 29 doubles, 13 triples, hitting .814. So we'll play the percentages here and hope we can get a base hit to bring in Jeter. And we do. Evans will not even make a throw. Jeter scores, and we have a tie game again, folks, at 3-3. Now, we got the Bambino up, 1 for 2. Had a homer earlier, 6 for 14 on this young season in its 4th game. The pitch to the Bambino is ball 4. That moves Wheat to second. Do we put a pinch runner in for Zach Wheat? I'm thinking we do. We'll put Jose Reyes in.
Reyes is the new runner at second.
Put a little more speed at second base. Bill Terry is 0 for 1 in the season and in the game, and he hits righties 400. Here's the pitch. Grounded to third. Collins to Terry. Safe. Bases loaded for the Yankees now in the bottom of the 10th. A 3-3 tie. And by the way, you may have noticed we play the old school extra innings in the HTBL. We don't do this runner at second. You get a runner at second, Jazz. If it takes a while to play a game, it takes a while to play a game. Lazzeri is 1 for 4. Ball 4, game over. Reyes scores. Boston gets 1 in the 10th, but the New York Yankees come back with 2 for a 4-3 win. 2 out when the winning run scored. And they're playing New York by Frank Sinatra right now. So it was Ojeda getting the win, Ryba getting the loss, or Ryba. I don't know how you would pronounce that name. The MVP of the game was, it's down here, Jack Quinn for New York, even though he did not get the win. So a very entertaining game. Ryba 0-1, Ojeda 1-0. Evans went 2 for 5, a homer. So did Vaughn. Freddie Lynn 1 for 5 and a homer. So all of Boston's runs came on homers. Jeter 2 for 4, 2 doubles. Babe Ruth 1 for 2, a homer and 3 walks. And I will come back on camera. Tell you this has been the Hometown Baseball League. We will be back tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday, for Los Angeles hosting Texas. We will have that game for you at 1 o'clock in the p.m. Eastern Time. That's 10 if you're out west and 6 if you are in London, England. So I thank you all for tuning in. This has been Big Polly coming to you, wishing you well, Godspeed, God bless, and we will do it all again tomorrow. We also have OOTP Perfect Team for you tomorrow on many of these Big Polly World of Sports Sim stations. And we'll do it all again soon. Bye-bye for now.